You're fine.
It's just too long is all.
Pretty boy. $18 people waiting. We have got a good crowd in the chat tonight, and I'm so excited to be doing this first ever, this virtual car show. And we're doing it live. So I'm pretty excited to have everybody here. Grant and I are trying something new for you guys. So welcome to the Car Guy and SIXFAN Show. My name is Jason, and I'm Car Guy of the Car Guy and SIXFAN Show. And my host over here to the other side of me is
Grant Tommy, straight SIXFAN on YouTube, or SIXFAN of this operation, and welcome everybody, especially all of those who maybe this isn't a regular thing for you. We welcome you guys in, and thanks for joining us. Had a pretty tremendous response. Jason and I didn't know what to expect when we floated this out there, but we're pretty excited to be trying this new. So with that, Jason, who do we got? I know we had 18 waiting before we hit go, but who we have in the chat so far?
Oh my goodness, we have got a pile of people. We're showing 19 right now, and I'm going to try and run through it real quick. Tony from Driven by Gears is here. Jeff Ford, Auto Restomod. We've also got Terry Eford, GMC Texas, 50 Magic, Auto Alley, and I got to scroll a little bit. We've got Martin's Garage, Streetcar Culture, and America Bumper to Bumper. Hey, Kip, welcome to the show. We miss you guys. Burning Rubber Garage is there. We've got Trucker Dave has jumped in, and I think we're running. Oh, Rust Belt Mechanic has jumped in there as well, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. One of the things that we've got to keep in mind tonight is we're going to do our very best to maintain our time schedule. We've got 42 vehicles to show you guys tonight from some of these submissions, and it's going to be very tough to get through this in one shot. But we're going to get started. I'm going to try and get this live button going here on the actual PowerPoint. So, Grant, maybe you can fill in some time while I figure this out.
Absolutely. You know, I can always fill dead airspace because that's what I'm best at. If you guys have seen any of my videos on YouTube, that's all I do is fill dead airspace. No. But thanks again, everybody, for submitting your rides. We hope this is successful. We did want to remind you, if you're finding us on SoundCloud.com and listen to the podcast, well, this episode's going to be one of those episodes that you get little value out of because you're not going to see the screen. So that encourages you to, of course, catch us Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube. And with that, back to you, Jason.
Okay, so guys, you're going to have to bear with me because I'm not going to be able to see the chat, and I'm going to have to leave that up to Grant tonight to catch all the comments and everything that's going on over there. I'm going to have to flip over to the other tab and start doing some scrolling. So, having said that, welcome to the first annual Car Guy and SIXFAN virtual car show, and we're going to start with our very first entry, which is our buddy Tony from Driven by Gears with his 95 GMC 1500 that he's got lowered, and it is a beautiful truck. This is only one of two trucks that he's had, and Tony also has a YouTube channel. I would encourage you guys to go and check him out.
Next up, we go down under to our friend Jason Canal. Of course, he's from Melbourne, Australia. And Streetcar Culture on YouTube. Of course, he's got a pair of 929 Mazdas, a 1978 929 wagon, and an 85 929 hatchback coupe.
And we've got my buddy Herman Lomaz has submitted 3 of his square body entries here. He's got a 73, he's got a 74 with an 82 front end on it, as well as his 91 Suburban, and apparently his daily driver is something like a Corolla. And I mentioned to him last week that I was going to give him a shout out for the hardworking railroad men. He's out there working in Texas tonight. I'm not sure he's going to be able to join us, but thanks, Herman, for your submission. And we'll move on to the next entry.
So keep in mind, if you see the @ sign, that, of course, would be the Instagram handle for any of these cars. If they have a YouTube channel, we'll try to let you guys know what that is. But our next contestant comes to us from Flying Wheels. His name would be Craig. And he gave us both a 2008 Saline Mustang, a very low mileage car, and his 2016 Stingray Corvette. I got to be honest, I'm probably a little partial to that generation of Corvettes. C8's not bad, but I'm kind of partial to that one.
Yeah, and I think on the slide I've got 2006, and on the notes I had 2016. That was totally a typo on my behalf. Sorry about that, Craig. So yeah, Craig also has a YouTube channel. Go over and check him out. For those of you guys who remember when I did the 4,000 subscriber giveaway, one of my winners was Josh, who is out in Alberta, and Josh also got me the chrome mirrors for Dale. And this is his 1982 square body, and he's doing a lot of work. He's got the same drop kit in his truck that I've got in Dale, and he's been very happy to be able to rely on me for some tips on getting that done, because we've been messaging back and forth on Instagram.
We go from square bodies to maybe one of our youngest contestants. That would be Nate Lipinski, who is kind of on the fence about joining the YouTube circuit. But, of course, you can find his Falcon over on Instagram, a 1963 Ford Falcon. He's swapping 351 Windsor into that bad boy. And definitely the clubhouse leader for entries into the Flowmaster giveaway.
Windsor? What's a Windsor?
Downton Abbey. That's...
Next slide we have is probably one of my favorite entries into the car show this evening, and that is Trey Cochran's 1980 Chevy Love. And now this has a little bit of a story to it. His grandfather bought this truck brand new. It's now his. Apparently it doesn't run the little four-banger, give up the ghost, and he's talking about maybe putting a small block in it. And his one of his daily drivers is his 82 Chevy C10. Trey is a musician. He's a very good one, so go check him out on Instagram.
So next up comes to us from Season 4 guest, Dylan McCool, of course, and his 1969 Dodge Charger. He calls it the Ratty Charger, and when the rest of us like to know, Dylan, when are you going to paint it?
And I bet you we all know the answer to that question, but as we move on to one of our first female entrants of the car show this evening, and I'm impressed that we have, I think, at least 3. This is Dina, and Dina has submitted her 1985 Ford Thunderbird with a 5-liter, and she has done the 5-lug conversion on this car. That is one of my favorite Thunderbirds of all time. I really like this car, and we do have a few more coming up through the show.
And if I'm not mistaken, she's actually the wife of another one of our contestants coming up before too long. But next we have Dave Ernest in his 1990 Dodge W150, sitting since about 2003, and he finally got it started. So I might be calling you later to pick your brain on how to get my Fairmont started. But he calls it the ugly truckling.
And a little while back, you guys may have noticed I posted on Instagram, or was at least tagged on Instagram by Sean Dixon, who saw me driving Dale down the highway. He lives about an hour from here, I believe. And this is a group of vehicles. His is the 63 C10, and his father-in-law is 85 GMC square body, and a buddy of his has the 52 International, and all 3 of them are very good-looking trucks sitting there together.
Next contestant comes to us via Brian Harrison, a 1987 Chevy R10 is what you have in the notes. C10 is what I'm going to go ahead and say instead, that he calls blue color. And, of course, the awesome part about this is the end of the square body era that was it 73 to 87, unless you count 88 when they did some really weird hybrid stuff with front grills. But it's hard to beat the stacked headlight look of a 1987 Chevy R10.
And just as a shout out there too, Brian is getting married this weekend, so congratulations, Brian. We're really happy for you. Next entry comes to us. This is only 4 of the several vehicles that Terry Eford from Eford Garage has. We've got a 77 and an 81 square body. He's also got a 64 Pontiac GTO and his 2009 Pontiac G8. Terry has a YouTube channel. He features a lot of these vehicles on that channel. I encourage you to go check him out. He's got some pretty good stuff over there.
So Herman Lomas in the chat mentions he just dropped in. I do want to encourage you. You're going to want to watch the replay because we covered you a second out of the gate. But this is our buddy Josh Snyder over at Snydertron 3000, of course, on YouTube. And he gave us basically the whole stable between Jack Black, Goldie Hawn, and James Brown. So if you're curious which is which, just look at the color of the vehicle. They're all sporting LSs, and they love going down the quarter mile. Wait, one of them is a big. Is Jack Black a big block now? Actually,
I think he's been back and forth a time or two, but I do believe it is a big block now. And why are we not switching here? There we go. So now we've got Matthew from, he's got his Instagram handle there, the Yellow Trim Mafia, and this is his 77 C10 Bonanza. And Matthew says that it was originally purchased by his grandfather and given to him by his grandmother after they passed away. It has a 350 in it and currently undergoing an L83, which I believe is a 6-liter. Might be wrong. And a 6L80 swap. So he's getting ready to do some fuel injection there.
Jed Scott of Scott's Speed Shop mentions he's got to run. So, Jed, thanks for dropping in. But next, we have a really good beauty shot, the old 3/4 hot rod stance, if you will, from our buddy Kyle over at Rust Belt Mechanic and his Duramax. If you don't know who Kyle is, you gotta go figure that out on YouTube, Rust Belt Mechanic. But I love the diesel builds, whether it's a 6-liter Ford, a Cummins, or a Duramax. Always fun to watch.
And that truck right there is a long truck, and it's got it's a crew cab with the long box. And if you're from Charlotte County, here where I am, they would say that's longer than the Holton Road. Then we've got Stuff with Cletus, and Stuff with Cletus generally is in the chat. I'm not sure if he's there tonight, but Curtis is here with his 84 GMC Jimmy High Sierra, and you can see he's got the soft top on the back in one of those pictures, and he's also got the big Dick CPEC wheels on there as well.
Well, Mr. Snyder, if hopefully you caught your car, we just covered it a couple slides back, so I see you just dropped in the chat. I know our chat's delayed here on the Streamlabs, backside of things, so hopefully you caught that. I don't know, but our next contestant comes to us from Justin Nelson, and boy, doesn't he have another nice stable. So we'll talk with we'll start with the 1963 Pontiac Laurentian. Is that Canadian?
That's Canadian, man.
Okay. Well, I love it. It's kind of got a Tempest look to it, and the 4 doors, like, you got the stance nailed there. But he's also a square body guy, of course, with his 1985 GMC and his 1978 GMC. So I applaud you for staying away from the bow tie at least and going with the 3 letters.
Well, and one of the funny things too, I shouldn't say funny, one of the great things about these particular vehicles here is the big 1-ton dually is getting an LS swap, and the 63 Laurentian's already got it. We're going to jump down now to our second female contestant, or I shouldn't say contestant, entrant, is Auto Alley. She's entered this 1966 Mustang, which she's been doing a lot of great work to. It's a beautiful car, even in the flat black paint job. And we're really excited to see some ladies get in here with their builds and show off what they've got here. And check her out. I believe she's on YouTube as well as Instagram, so go check out Auto Alley. And
when Jason says check her out, he literally just means on the social media platforms.
Married.
Oh boy. So our next contestant, Gary Wiley, gives us another good BOP sort of submission, just like excuse me, did I get that? Okay, I am following along. So another square body guy, another 1-ton square body, a GMC 3500, and a 1966 Oldsmobile 442. I'm always a fan of the 442s. Especially when they kind of got weird and split that headlight. What was that? Maybe 67, 68. But nice looking vehicles.
And Gary is right here from St. Stephen, and he sent me these pictures on Facebook and didn't give me much information on them. But nevertheless, he shared the pictures and a couple of great looking vehicles. This is Mitch Sprague, and Mitch is another New Brunswick boy. He's got this 2001 Grand Marquis HPP, which apparently stands for High Performance Package, maybe, which basically gives you the wheels, the true dual exhaust, and the 327 track lock right from the factory. Mitch has a YouTube channel. Go check him out.
Next up is one of my loyal Instagram follows, of course, from that weirdo Fairmont crowd like myself, Zephyr and Fairmont crowd at the Blue Mongrel. He has a 1982 Ford Fairmont Futura that he plans to do a 2.3 liter turbo swap in, as well as his daily is a 2005 Chrysler 300C with some SRT 10 ram wheels, Canon air filter, Flowmaster exhaust. Pretty sweet pair of cars.
And next we have, we don't know this person's first name, but he drives a shitbox apparently, and that is his Instagram handle. But again, another beautiful car, these Thunderbirds. I love this this body style of these Thunderbirds and Cougars. And he's got a 5-liter AOD combo on some well drag light wheels with the offset tire combo, 9.5s in the rear and 6s in the front.
What I'll say about his car is what I like. Maybe the paint's faded a little bit, but it's nice and even, and it's just a very clean, all total setup. I love the wheel tire combo. Really nice looking whip that I think has a lot of potential to add to. So we move on to Quentin and Eric Boulanger. They're actually, this is an international affair, not just Canada has been submitting, but these submissions come from France. And we have both a 1975 Impala Sport 454 down there below, kind of Blues Brothers inspired, if you will. I know those were actually Dodges, but that's what came to mind when I saw that. But speaking of Dodges, we have a 1979 Chrysler 300, so another B body. Did I get that right, Jason?
Yep. Yep.
But he says that with the turbine wheels, this was one of, like, I think less than 5,000 made. So really cool submissions there.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that's a French name, and also because I'm Canadian, I know that that's not Boulanger, it's Boulanger. So thanks for the submission.
Pretty sure that's what I said.
And yeah, pretty close. And just as a quick note too, is if you look at the driver's side front cornering mark, I can't even talk now. If you look at the driver's side front corner marker light there, that is mine. He had a little fender bender with that car and knew that I had one, and they reached out to me to see if I had a spare, and fortunately enough I did, and I sent that all the way to France to those guys to do that. The next submission we have here is from Paul, from Paul's Speed Shop, who has recently changed his Instagram handle from Project Late for Bingo to buttcrack.pizza.
I was hoping you would go out of your way to say that.
I did. I truly did. Oh.
Well, now you have to click an extra button in the monetization, the self-reporting now because of that. But hey, it was worth it.
Whew. I don't know where to go from there. So this is Paul's entries here. His 70 Beetle. That is fuel injected, methanol injected, turbocharged 4-speed car. He's also got the 79 Mercury Zephyr with a fully rebuilt 302 and his 79 Mustang with a V6.
So then rolling up behind our buddy Paul is Johnny with at that 302 Cougar. I was a fan of these. You know, it's the Mustang body, but the Cougar, you don't see many of these. So 1967 Cougar, of course, King Eric, the greatest of all. I'm sure you are losing yourself right now. But a simple 302 car with the C4 auto and torque thrust wheel setup. Pretty classic look.
And then we move on to 50 Magic. And this is a 1981 Fairmont that actually has a Coyote swap into it, with the 5-lug swap, 8.8 rear, coilovers front for weight transfer, and rolling on jigs 17 by 4.5 SSRs in the front, an American Vision Muscle 571 Sport Star 2s, 15 by 8s out back with some Mickey Thompsons.
So next up, you're going to have to, oh boy, we got something a little bit out of order. Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, sorry. Jason, I didn't know your first name. Kutasi, if I get it wrong.
We'll just laugh.
Please forgive me. Yeah. So at An Auto Addiction, go check him out on YouTube. He's definitely one of the guys that I always joke, you know, when you get into YouTube, it almost feels like you're part of a graduating class of, you know, 2012 or whatever. I feel like Jason and I kind of came up through the rigs around the same time, but we'll start with his 1996 Ford Econoline van, an E150, 5.8 liter, and he actually has headers, exhaust, 17-inch wheels on that, 2-inch lift, pre-runner kind of light bar. Then you move down to, we'll go down to the far right-hand corner, his 1997 Ford F-250, 460 fuel injected, E4OD, very clean OBS Ford. That was my first vehicle in 95 F-150. But if you want to project out what his content's going to be about moving forward, that would be his 1986 Oldsmobile Cutlass. So go check him out over on YouTube and get ready for some Cutlass videos.
And our third female entry for this car show is Leah with her 66 Mustang Fastback. And if you go follow her over on Instagram, it is Entrastang, which kind of is very interesting. So I think that's what she was playing on. I like the rendering. I love the look of that car. I even like the color. I can't complain about that at all. Very clean looking car. She's got a good base to start with, and I hope to see that come to fruition in the near future.
I can tell you that Leah, since she submitted to me, told me this was her dream car, and she actually I asked her about the wheels. What were the plans for the wheels? I believe she's actually already purchased them because she sent me an actual picture of at least one, and a very awesome sort of desert tan. Like, it's probably not reading on the rendering great. It looks maybe a little more reddish there, but a desert tan backdrop, and wants to do a staggered 17-18 back to front setup. So really slick looking deal. But our next contestant is Daniel Grubaugh. I hope I got that right as well. And I think we picked Daniel up along the way when we were doing the history of AMC. And I know he's totally stoked for next week's interview. Jacob, I always get this backwards. This is where dyslexia kicks my butt. Jacob Ross Davis or Jacob David Ross. Anyway, the former editor to Hot Rod Magazine. Make sure you guys check out next week's episode on my channel as we interview him. But you may remember him as the guy who did burnouts on a nitrous boosted inline six, the Green Hornet, if you will. But enough about him. Let's get back to Daniel in his 1977 AMC Hornet Sportabout wagon, who's also sporting the 232 inline six with a 3-speed manual transmission. You know me, fan of the straight sixes.
And I'll kind of a little bit of a jealous bone kicked in here when I saw this car. You guys all know that Grant and I are all about the oddballs. This is an oddball, and I love this car. Whoops, went too far. So now we're into Burning Rubber Garage, and we've got the entry of the 71 Chevy C10. And my phone keeps going blank here. 71 C10 with a 350 engine and a turbo 350, lowered with Bell-Tech components, riding on 20-inch Foose wheels, as well as a 1969 Pontiac GTO that apparently has a dealer-swapped 428 cubic inch with a turbo 400.
Apologize if I haven't been keeping up in the chat. I've been trying to look over there from time to time, but I think we're pretty well caught up. But our next contestant is Max Strobel and what he calls Project Clifford 334 on Instagram, and his 1996 Ford Bronco. Again, this is my jam. This is my 92 to 96 F-150 front clip. Love everything about it. I gotta say, I like the XD wheels added to this.
Yeah. Again, another one of my favorites of this show. It's a vehicle that I've never seen, and there's just something about a Bronco and or a Blazer of that same era with the, I guess not of that same area, but with the top off. Those are great looking trucks. This one was submitted to me from Facebook. I don't have a whole lot of information other than this is a 95 Chevy S10 that's got a V8 in it. And it's got some, looks like some IROC wheels on it from Brent Sutherland. And he's got the front end swapped off of a 2000 S10. Kind of a classic 90s style into 2000s, early 2000s look. Great looking truck.
Yeah, those were always a pretty sharp little thing on like a 2-4 drop. But another mutual friend of both Jason and I is Robbie. Old Robbie.
Robbie.
especially on TikTok. What is
my
his
soul.
handle again? Like Robbie or something. But anyway, at Robbie _one man shop on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube as well at One Man Shop. This is a 1968 GMC custom. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie, but I think you're just sporting a kind of mild 350 build, but it's loud and it's awesome and it's clean. So love that truck. Very, very clean. Very clean all around.
And then we've got our pal Sean from the YouTube channel Novitas. He's all over social media as Novitas. So we're going to start with his 2001 Dodge Ram. It's an off-road edition. We've also got the 79 Pontiac Trans Am, which he calls Jean Grey. And he's had this since 2014. He swapped in a 403 out of a Pontiac 400 that's been cammed. In the process of, I can't even read my own handwriting here. Anyways, it's a great looking car, Pontiac Trans Am, and then his namesake, the 77 Chevy Nova, which he calls Christine, and he's had this since 2007, and he swapped the inline 250 for a 350, and is currently waiting for a frame-off restoration.
Always a soft spot for me for fourth generation Novas. Of course, my brother's high school car is a 77 Nova. But speaking of Novas, our next contestant is Justin Rennie and with a 1974 Nova. And as much as I love my fourth gen Novas, the third gen Novas, this was one of the few cars that really kept proportions in check after 1972. Always loved me some 73 and 74 Novas. And with that classic look of the sort of torque thrust 2 wheels there, very, very clean car.
Almost mini Chevelle-esque in that body style. Then we've got another submission from Facebook. This fella, again, is from New Brunswick. He's got his 87 Chevy Caprice and his 88 Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Very clean car. Thanks, Raymond Cormier, for your submission.
And then that brings us to Ben, who reached out to me with his, 1981 Pontiac. There's a lot going on here, so let's try to put this. It's a Le Mans Safari wagon, and I think Safari is the appropriate word because it's sort of like bringing the whole zoo together. But we're talking about a Power Tour long haul contestant, a drag week contestant. Really kind of cool because he's also got a Cutlass front clip on it. So anyway, thank you, Ben, for being part of our car show.
And then we're going to roll down to Real World Garage, and he's on Instagram as well. Check out this beautiful 1954 Ford, and probably the best thing about it is it's powered by a Chevy.
Got that wrong. So then we head up to the Pacific Northwest, Spokane, Washington, for our buddy Ryan at Boost Rodeo, who's another mutual friend of the program, someone who I got to meet on my vacation. It's basically as genuine as they come. But of course, the kind of, we'll call it the poster child of his channel, the would be his 1992 Toyota Supra with the 2JZ turbocharged. He just recently got some rolling shots, and those turned out great. But obviously, there's his 1981 Toyota Corolla beater that they just love to flog. And then I want to say I think it's his father-in-law, a connection through his father-in-law, I believe, that they picked up this actual pre-runner Baja truck from. Shoot, I always forget. This is Suzuki, right? Mitsubishi. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Had to check the notes there, but this was actually, I think, Mitsubishi sponsored, and they got an old 2006 pre-runner truck.
Yeah, and the thing is about that truck is that it's a factory sponsored Mitsubishi Raider, and it actually raced in the Baja 1000, I believe it was, and was a race winner. Then we got some guy named Grant. He's got this beautiful looking 1978 Ford Fairmont that apparently looks like it ran at one point in time. I mean, it's looking real pretty sitting there in the driveway. I'm sorry.
No, I would have done the same thing. Don't.
Oh,
Keep
goodness.
going.
Yeah. So, anyways, obviously this is Grant's car, and he's kind of coined it as the Project Low Fairmont, where he's been doing a little bit of work to it over the last year or so, and he's very, very close to getting that first start. So stay tuned to his YouTube channel and his Instagram stories for updates on that.
So Ryan, thanks for kind of filling in the blanks there for us in the chat. Took first and second. I believe you're talking about the Raider. But then, of course, we kind of wrap the show up. We'll open it up. We'll talk. We'll do our normal format because we got time to spare. Jason and I were worried actually that this was going to go super long, but we put our auctioneer caps on and really breeze through the contestants. So we wrap up with our buddy, old Carr in Canada, Jason. And we start with Grandma, I don't remember what year, 2004 Grand
2004,
Marquis,
yeah.
Mercury Grand Marquis. And I know that's kind of going to probably be a little bit of the shift of the focus on his YouTube channel coming up in the immediate future. But then, of course, we have everybody's favorite, Dale, the square body, 1977. Yes. Okay. Because I knew the Cordova was 79, mine's 78, and that's a 77. So we have basically locked down the late 70s, folks. And then, of course, the old Mopar, the Doba, if you will, as pinstriped on the back trunk lid, the 1979 Chrysler Cordova. Jason?
You know, if you guys look really close behind the Cordova, you'll see the ghostly figure of what used to be Bubbles. And I'm going to end this screen share here. Just let me get back to stop doing this. I had a ton of fun with this format. I don't know about you, Grant, but I'm not looking forward to the work involved in getting it ready. I'm looking forward to doing the live stream again. It was a fun show. It was great showing off everybody's vehicles, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more people out there who want to see more. I really think that this episode is probably something that's going to be big after we go off air, because there's going to be a lot of people out there that want to see these rides.
For sure. It'll tank on SoundCloud for reasons we talked about before, but it looks like the chat it kind of is lining up with the things you just said. Otherwise, who was it? Trucker Dave. We apologize if we missed your submission. You asked about a Jeep. Now, I don't know if you reached out to me or to Jason. We apologize if we didn't get you in, but there was a cutoff as well for yesterday, September 30th. It was a lot of work, so everybody, if you could do a clap emoji in the chat for Jason for the work that he put into this. It was a lot of work. Even just for me to transfer over the pictures I got to him was a lot of work, so I knew that whatever he was doing was probably about 2 or 3 times that. With that, Jason, did you want to fold this in a little bit to any sort of growth strategy talk? Or open it to the chat, or?
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll leave the chat open there for anybody. I did see a couple of super chats come in there. I really appreciate that, guys. I don't specifically know who they were coming from, but thank you so much. I'll go back and make sure I see who that was and send you off a message of thanks. One of the things that I did want to talk about a little bit with this episode, I know it's kind of off topic. It's not following the regular things that we normally would do, but one of the things that I think that I really want to be upfront about is that we really tried to make sure that I got everybody's submissions in. Now, I know Trucker Dave, you can give me crap on Messenger later, but I tried to make sure that we got at least one picture of everybody's vehicles, and I kind of used my own judgment on the ones that I felt were what people wanted to see. And maybe the Jeep was something people wanted to see. I don't know. My apologies for leaving that out, and I did leave a few others out from some other people. But again, it is a lot of work to put these shows together with the PowerPoint and all the notes that Grant and I have to share. But I appreciate everybody being here, and I appreciate you being a part, and I certainly appreciate sending in all your submissions. And I think I can honestly say I do look forward to doing it again.
Well, the emojis are rolling in, so we got a lot of applause there for you, Jason. And so again, I thank you for being willing to do this. Yeah, we certainly aren't going to probably do this more than once a season. Boy, It was a lot of work, but as far as super chats go, I kind of went back while you were talking there and looked. Looks like Novitas dropped in 2 of the 4, if I counted them up right. Robbie from One Man Shop, and then Streetcar Culture was sending some money from the hemisphere away as well.
And I appreciate that, guys. And maybe we'll just take a quick moment to update everybody on what's coming up on our channels. And of course, Grant, we kind of know where you are with your exhaust because that video came out today. But why don't you give us a little bit of an update?
Well, no, Wednesday uploads, so it came out yesterday. But I do have one coming up, kind of a follow up, kind of like to bookend close where we left off on that episode. And if you're following me on Instagram, well, you know even one step further than the video you'll see tomorrow morning. Jason, what do you got cooking?
Well, the first of several rear end swaps on Project Grandma is coming up. So we got a short video coming up for you on Friday night, and then the next one after that is going to be actually starting to tear into things, which I still have to edit that video, but nevertheless we'll be getting that up. The next series of videos is going to be following along with Grandma. We're getting ready to start doing some work to her. She went through a safety inspection today. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that she did not pass. Nothing major, but we'll go over that in an upcoming video. So that's what you have to expect, is some more Panther platform project vehicle. Like, tough one to say.
Alliteration for the win. Panther platform project purchase potential. Putting around.
Yeah.
No, but at this point, we do want to open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions for us, we do have a little bit of time. We try to close this out now. We kind of keep each season pushing it maybe by almost 5 minutes. I think 40 minutes is kind of our season for average here. So if you guys have a question for us, feel free to drop it in the chat. Outside of that, it seemed like I had some sort of growth potential thing I wanted to talk about, but it's blanking. I'm blanking. Jason, do you have anything?
We have, of course, we're all about wisecracks and sarcasm, and who else is but the greatest of all would be King Eric. The greatest of all is asking for you to please have pie in your next video.
Of course, he's referencing the exhaust video. I mentioned pie cuts in the title, and that was one of his comments. So, yeah, Eric, I do appreciate that. Even if I did have pie in my video, though, would that really make you feel better? Since I couldn't share it through the screen, kind of question your motives there. But did want to take the opportunity to remind you guys, we mentioned it earlier, but Jacob Ross Davis, the former editor of Hot Rod Magazine, will be our guest. Well, maybe I shouldn't promise this because I haven't reached out to him again to confirm that we're still good. But on paper, that's our guest next week. So it will be on my channel, guys. So hopefully you're subscribed to both Old Car Guy as well as Straight Six Fan. Jason, what else did we miss in the chat?
I'm just kind of scrolling through there. I think that we're doing good. Terry Eford saying put a Pro Charger on the Fairmont. Novitas wants pie. Auto Resto Mod says pie yes. Apple please. And thanks Jeff for being into the chat tonight and for looking after those wild stallions over there in the chat, because they can get pretty rowdy once in a while. Anyways, that's going to do it for this show, guys. We can ramble on here for as long as we want, but we're going to tie things up. So I want to thank you for everything. Novitas, thanks again. $2 piece of pies. Another super chat there for $2. So thank you guys for being a part of this show. We will do it again. I don't know how soon it'll be, but nevertheless, Grant, why don't you go ahead and close out the show?
Yeah, just kind of a final try to extinguish one question. Herman Loma has asked me if I ever considered getting a Chevy. I know I've said this on some live streams before. The next project car, everybody asks me, what's it going to be? And I always say, well, it's going to be market driven. I love my Fords, but I'm not going to hold out passing up a deal just based off of a badge. I love all the domestics, and I think there's plenty of things that would make good content for my videos that as long as they fit in the odd body category or offbeat hot rod, I'd be happy to do it. But otherwise, thank you once again everybody who joined in. Thanks everybody who submitted a ride. Thank you for participating in this car show. Hope you enjoyed it. hope it's a format that you agree is worth doing again. But otherwise, that's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, peace out.